Welcome to the 11th annual Wunderkind celebration. My name is Sam Winder, publisher of 914 Inc. Welcome to the virtual platform Hop In. This may be new to some. If you haven't already, we hope you'll take advantage of the networking opportunity, which will be open until 8 p.m. for anyone that would like to continue networking after the awards presentation. We also encourage everyone to visit the sponsor booths by clicking on the Expo button on the left side of your screen. And please visit the virtual gift bag at each sponsor booth and on our website at westchestermagazine.com/Wunderkinds. You could also use the chat feature throughout the event on the right side of your screen. Next year, we so look forward to holding this event live again. We launched 914 Inc. 11 years ago as a quarterly business lifestyle magazine to give the Westchester business community a fresh perspective on doing business in Westchester. Due to popular demand, we've increased the frequency to 6 times in 2021. We're especially proud of our coverage of the young professionals in our community and the amazing work they are currently doing and will be doing for some time well into the future. The word Wunderkind may not be a household name for some. A Wunderkind is a person who succeeds in business at a relatively young age. In our case, it's professionals under the age of 30. You would think it would be a challenge to come up with a fresh crop of deserving professionals under 30 each year, but it's not. We're fortunate to have such a strong talent pool of young professionals right here in Westchester County. It's now my pleasure to play a message from our county executive, George Latimer.
Hi, I'm Westchester County Executive George Latimer, and I'm happy to be here for Westchester Magazine's annual recognition of Wunderkinds, the successful men and women who are under the age of 30 who have done such excellent work on behalf of their communities. They come from a variety of different backgrounds, and they've made a variety of different contributions, but every one of them have made contributions very early in their life, and we know that they have a lifetime of accomplishment ahead of themselves. And for Westchester to move forward, we need people who are young and able in every field of endeavor. Let me just mention all of those individuals that are the 2021 honorees. Some of them are good friends of mine, and some of them are people that we should all get to know over the course of the next few years. Alex Accaro, Brittany Arocho, Christopher Calabro, Leah Carpenzano, Jessica Chang, Ned Corona, Nella Carlo, Frank Desantis, Ryan Finch, Samara Graca, Stephanie Giordano, Jasmine Graham, Aaron Hopkins, Emma Houseman, Alina Pedraza, Avi Raffelson, Carlo Santos, Sokana Silla, and my colleague, County Legislator Tyree Woodson-Samuels. Every one of these people that are being honored today have already made an important contribution to Westchester County, and we can't wait to see what they're going to do in the next decade of their life. Have a wonderful celebration.
Thank you, George, and thank you for all you are doing to keep our county safe. This is the man that has the energy of a Wunderkind. I would now like to thank our sponsors for this evening. Our bronze sponsor, Regeneron. Our event sponsor, Iona College. Our gift bag sponsor, Caramount Medical. Please don't forget to visit their virtual booths. Click on Expo on the left side of your screen. It is now my pleasure to introduce our executive editor, Amy Partridge.
Thanks, Sam. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our annual Wunderkind celebration, our 11th year of Wunderkinds. This should mark our last 914 Inc. virtual Wunderkinds event, and we really look forward to celebrating with everyone in person next year. As always, it is my privilege to help celebrate the impressive accomplishments of this year's crop of Wunderkinds. 19 talented and hardworking individuals whose successes at such an early age bode well for the future of Westchester's business community. It gives me a great sense of optimism to know that these under 30 superstars will be leading Westchester's charge to build back better than ever as we come out of the worst days of this pandemic. Motivated, dedicated, diverse, innovative, and not afraid to push the envelope, our 2021 Wunderkinds are full of the fresh ideas and youthful energy we need to move forward. We are proud every year to shine a spotlight on the county's up-and-comers, but this year it's especially rewarding to find 19 honorees who have managed to not only survive, but thrive in the face of a global pandemic. So what exactly is a Wunderkind? Our strict criteria are simple. The professionals we select as Wunderkinds must be under the age of 30 and work in Westchester. But there's obviously far more to it than that. What I usually say is that we think of Wunderkinds as not simply young people who are good at their jobs, but rather people whose accomplishments go above and beyond the expected. People who would be just as impressive if they were 30-somethings or 40-somethings or even 50-somethings. As for how we select our Wunderkinds, each year we put out an open call for submissions through our various channels, and this year we received more than 150 nominations. We go through them all diligently. We do our research and due diligence, argue back and forth a little bit, and come up with our final selections. I'm thrilled with our group of Wunderkinds this year. 19 outstanding young people that are doing a great job for Westchester, whether they are rising the ranks of our biggest companies or most dynamic small businesses, running successful businesses of their own, making their mark on our political scene, or helping to drive change in our nonprofit sector. Before I announce this year's honorees, a quick reminder to them all that they will be receiving an award box in the mail if they have not already. Our first honoree is Accaro, Chief Executive Officer, Blue Media Project. Seeking to align his creative passions with his social stances, in 2017, Accaro founded Blue Media Project, a digital creative agency and political consulting firm. Accaro's work includes a campaign for newly elected Congressman Mondaire Jones, as well as current projects for political races in Mount Vernon, Peekskill, Bedford, and Mount Pleasant.
Blue Media Project is a digital consulting agency, whether it's a political campaign, a nonprofit, or a religious organization building their digital footprint, whether through web design, photography, videography, motion graphics, and seeing how we can implement a communication strategy that best fits their industry. It started off in 2017 as helping political campaigns, and then after the pandemic, we started diving into new industries, like helping religious organizations build their digital footprint, since they have to start introducing live stream into their congregations, and that's something that's new to them. I was in advertising, I was working at NBC Universal. It was a lot of technical work. I just wanted to get more on the creative side, so just started practicing and learning different programs on my own, and then realized you can make money off that. So I started realizing that I shouldn't be volunteering only. Also, I've personally just growing up with a learning disability, having to find ways to learn. I personally found hands-on approach the easiest way to learn. I was never good at just sitting and reading a textbook. That's how Blue Media Project started. My work ethic is focused on just keep swimming, just keep moving, and everything will work out. And experimenting and having a very open mindset. I feel like I've always been proactive and adaptable. So that's why when everything kept crashing in 2020, I was able to jump back up.
Our next honoree is Brittany Orocho, Events Director, DeCicco & Sons. In charge of DeCicco & Sons in-store, private, and corporate events, Brittany manages the grocery store's 5-person event planning team, typically responsible for up to a dozen events each weekend. During COVID, Orocho and her team organized more than $20,000 in food donations for a variety of groups, including Community Food Pantry of Sleepy Hollow in Tarrytown, Westchester Community College's Food Pantry, and local police departments, hospitals, firefighters, and other first responders.
My primary focus is event coordination and catering, and it's something I love to do. So that is working with customers and building out custom menus for their day, picking out decor and linens, coordinating staff. We can have several events in a day, so it's kind of looking at the overarching day and figuring out how to get everything going and making sure it goes seamlessly. So I actually come from a background of banking. Within a few years, I learned it was not something I was passionate about. I've always had a passion for food and working with people, and once I got to go to DeCicco & Sons, I knew it was the perfect fit. I was able to do something I love and really be dedicated to what I do every day. Within our work, we've been able to donate to thousands of first responders hot food, and that was such a great initiative. Every week we're working on different organizations and different ways that we can give back to communities. I think my personal key to success has really been trusting in a great team. All these things that I've been able to accomplish, I have not been able to do alone. If I didn't have such a strong team with people I can really trust to take care of big projects and really get things going, I wouldn't have been able to do as much as I have. I'm really passionate about mentorship. It's something that was so crucial to get me to where I am today, and I really want to be able to give back and work with as many people as possible to give them opportunities that maybe weren't available to them. With COVID, everything has really changed for my work since there are no more in-person parties or gatherings. It really forced me to pivot and find a new position in the company and ways to make a difference and help where I can. So in the next year, I'm hoping to see just parties come back and people to enjoy each other's company again, where we can work with them and build a party for all the events they maybe missed over the last year. I'm really passionate about what I do, so to be able to be nominated is such an overwhelming honor, and it means a lot to me.
Our next honoree is Christopher Calabro, financial planner and CEO, CPC Financial Group. Christopher Calabro started in the wealth management business in 2014 and founded CPC about 2 years ago. He and his team help more than 400 clients plan for retirement, chart investment strategies, and pursue other financial goals. His firm now boasts more than $90 million in assets under management.
I service my clients, I manage money, I do financial planning, I do insurance services, and so my responsibility is to take care of my clients, whether it be in managing their money or making sure they're prepared for retirement. My duties don't only span to the financial, but I'm there for them emotionally, if you want to say that too. It's nice to know when, if you have to go to, unfortunately, a funeral or a wake, the people who I don't know in the family know who I am because the people talk about me in that manner, that I'm an asset to their family. And so they feel like they can say, Chris is kind of a part of the family. I'm not going to family functions, but at the end of the day, they know that I'm there for them. I really educated myself early on, and becoming a certified financial planner really elevated me so that I can really understand people's life and people's challenges and concerns. And so part of my job is to understand what they're telling me and put an action plan together for them so that they can, have a path to success. And so a big part of it is education, it's communication to the client. And then at the end of the day, we are running a business, so we charge for those services, but it's just about clearly communicating to our clients and making them feel that we're always on their side of the table. A lot of times we have to walk clients through tough emotional decisions. The conversation I hate having the most is estate planning and planning for a passing. It's not a conversation that we enjoy, but these are the conversations that I know are necessary. We know it's best for the client.
Our next honoree is Leah Carpenzano, social and digital media manager at Iona College. At just 24, Leah is responsible for all digital and social media at Iona, including daily content across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. She also produces all the video content for the college, from virtual tours to program highlights. Leah was instrumental in helping the college transform the Iona experience to video platforms when the shutdown meant the end of in-person tours and commencement ceremonies.
So I create content across all of our platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. If we have stories that go out or we have events coming up, I also work with President's Office, admissions, alumni office, departments to create video content. We do stuff that's specific to the incoming class, so I work on videos through that, and then just regular social media videos. It's really fun because I get to work with so many different people, and it's just made me a way faster editor. It used to take me 3 days to do one video, and now I'm oh, no problem. This could be done in hours. I've always been really organized. A lot of time, my job is a lot of planning and making sure that I'm hitting every deadline, and a lot of the time it's self-imposed deadlines, so I say when I'm getting something to a vendor. So I think one of the challenges is always keeping in mind my time, how much I'm spending on a certain video, but also am I making my life more difficult by saying I can get this done in a day when maybe realistically it takes 2 days. When I graduated, I couldn't find a job. It was 2 years. I worked at a coffee shop, I was freelancing, social, and it was good, but I was feeling really sad and really down on myself. And I have 2 really good friends who were going through the same thing, and they were constantly pushing me to continue to create content. And I think that was really important to do something that made me feel good throughout the process, so I try to still do that.
Our next honoree is Jessica Chang, Marketing Manager at Julia B. Fee Sotheby's International Realty Rye Brokerage. With extensive experience in everything from social media and graphic design to branding and training, Jessica Chang has helped position the firm's Rye Brokerage for success. Chang's marketing prowess helped the agency experience a 38% increase in closed dollar volume from 2018 to 2020. In addition, on social media, their 2 corporate Instagram accounts now have an impressive 56,000 followers.
Hi, my name is Jessica Chang, and I'm the marketing manager at the Rye Julie B. Fee Sotheby's International Realty office. Some of the normal responsibilities for a marketing administrative such as myself tend to be assisting with the agents from listing to close any marketing initiatives. There is a method to my madness. Whenever I'm taking on a project, I believe there's always 3 options. One of them is exactly what the client wants. One of them is me fixing what the client wants. And then the third one is what I think is best. 9 out of 10 is normally what I suggest. Overcoming some of the challenges with COVID really had to do with reaching out to every agent. It has to be very personalized because each agent has their own style and the way that they market themselves. Everything going remote, everything being virtual has definitely made us more organized and self-reliant. My own personal key to success is organization. I feel that everyone has their own style and me as a graphic designer needs to figure it out. So how do you work and how can I work with you? Next steps, definitely more design because I feel like design runs the world even though people don't always see it. Especially real estate, branding is a huge deal. How can you make me different versus the other bajillion agents? I have meetings with the agents and figure out what their strongest quality is. It makes a big difference.
Our next honoree is Ned Corona, Director, Program Operations for the YWCA White Plains and Central Westchester. Ned's day-to-day activities at the YWCA revolve around data tracking and management, assisting program leaders, and managing projects. He also helps oversee revenue-generating programs, for which he's made programmatic decisions that include expanding summer camp and converting the fitness center into childcare space.
Some of my daily duties or responsibilities is tracking our programs. We offer gymnastics programming, aquatics programming, and childcare. So essentially my job is to track that we're getting the people in the door and how many of those people. So obviously per class there's a limit, there's a cap, and my job is to kind of track that. Track the money that's coming in, track the amount of people, and from there we make really detailed decisions. Is this class working? Do we need to run another class? Maybe there's a lot of interest here in this particular age group. And some of my other responsibilities that are sort of neat to me is I get to help people. My job is really to be on the ground and helping our program directors. So anybody that works in the nonprofit sector will know this, is you're always dealing with resources. Nonprofit is not for everyone, but if you love it, you know, it's totally for you, it's rewarding. And there's always a resource issue. You get hired for a position, there's always more that's asked of you, just because you're working in nonprofits. So sometimes, you know, you're running on limited money, limited resources. Sometimes you really have to think outside the box, but also be flexible. You know, one day you may be working on marketing on a flyer, and the next day you may be doing outreach. Really, you have to really go with the flow and really put yourself out there. I think I overcome some of the challenges in my daily work is being honest and communicating. The worst thing that you can really do is try to do everything yourself. So even though there is a resource issue and there's a lot of work, that doesn't mean that you can't ask for help. So tapping into people's strengths really helps overcome challenges. So some of the things that have helped me get to where I am today is my family, my friends, and really sort of the strive to succeed. My own personal motivation for success has really allowed me to get to where I am today.
Our next honoree is Nella DiCarlo, owner, Bees Cake Bakery. At age 17, Nella started working at the Bees Cake in Armonk part-time while attending college. Drawn to the industry, she eventually left school and purchased the business at the age of 24. Today, DiCarlo oversees the kitchen, the marketing, which includes an Instagram account with 10,000 followers, and the entire Bees Cake staff.
Bees Cakes Bakery is a one-stop shop. We have an item for anybody from a 1-year-old to your grandpa. We have cookies, decorated cookies. We have cupcakes, cakes. We can do a custom order from somebody's sweet 16 to their first birthday. We do weddings, bridal showers, and I think that's honestly one of the best things about having such like a great clientele is that I have customers that I'll do their engagement parties to now I'm doing like their child's first birthday. It's great to grow with the Bees Cakes community. We're a part of their events each year, and I think that's super cool. A lot of the responsibilities as the owner is that it's always consistent. There's always something to do, always something on my mind, whether it is being in charge of my employees or, you know, making sure that the day is going to be smooth sailing. Overall, there's always something to do. I'm always staying busy, but I really wouldn't have it any other way. How I started in Bees Cakes is I was a counter girl when I was 17 years old. And when I graduated high school, I was kind of in and out of college, didn't know what I want to do. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to work. One morning, my old boss, Julie, she was like, hey, do you want to like help me make donuts in the morning? And I was like, sure, let's do this. And from that day on, I became a kitchen worker to becoming a full-time kitchen worker. So everything I know about Bees Cakes is from actually being in that facility. I learned everything I know there. A few years later, I was offered ownership, and that's it. Now I'm here. Because people believed in me, it just made me want to work harder each year, and I just want to make Bees Cakes Bakery the best that it can be.
Our next honoree is Frank Desantis, Human Resources Manager, Stu Leonards. Starting at Stu Leonards' Yonkers location as a cashier when he was 17, Frank Desantis has risen through the ranks to become Human Resources Manager at Stu Leonards' only Westchester location, which is the 6th largest employer in Yonkers. Desantis and his team of 4 human resources professionals work closely with directors, management, and the 500 frontline employees to partner on all aspects of HR.
I've been at Stu Leonards for about 9.5 years now at this point. I'll make 10 years in July. I started out as a cashier, then was soon promoted to cashier trainer. My kind of foot in the door to human resources, there was an opportunity to help facilitate the orientations. So that was kind of my exposure to HR at Stu's for the first time. They liked me, I was doing a good job, so I was able to jump into HR and work as an HR assistant. Then after a couple of years of doing that, I was the HR coordinator. After that, HR specialist. Then my most recent promotion landed me in my current role of HR manager. So it's been an extraordinary journey for me. I've learned a lot along the way. I've just been really grateful to be able to take advantage of those promotion opportunities that Stu Leonards has provided. At Stu Leonards, we have a really strong culture, and part of my responsibilities as HR manager is to provide opportunities for our people to just embrace that culture and really become part of the Leonard family. One of the biggest keys to my success is always keeping teamwork as a priority. What that comes down to is just recognizing that everybody on the team has value and brings different things to the table, so embracing the diversity that comes with that. Working as a team is extremely important, so I think valuing teamwork and being a good team player has been one of the keys to my success. With my recent promotion to HR manager, right now my main focus is to just become the best human resources manager I can for the Yonkers team.
Our next honoree is Ryan Finch, Creative Technology Director, Corporate Audiovisual Services. In his current role, Finch leads the creative technology end of dozens of virtual event productions for corporate audiovisual services, designing customized experiences for a wide array of programming. He serves as virtual technical director on many of the productions, working directly with live on-air presenters, including heads of state, industry experts, media personalities, and local power brokers. Aside from his professional duties, Finch has worked with the United Way, co-chairing its special events and fundraising committee.
Corporate Audiovisual Services is a live events production company. We've been operating for just about 35 years now. Prior to the pandemic, it really was a mix of hybrid and live event productions. And obviously, since the pandemic started, that has changed quite a bit. Since then, we've been pretty much all virtual with some exceptions, and we are looking forward to getting back to an in-person and hybrid scenario. In my current position, I do really a couple of different things. First off is I manage and oversee a lot of the creative development, so things like graphic design to build out the storyboard of a virtual event. And then the video editing, I have a roster of video editors that we work with. I do some of that myself as well. And then some other things, animation and some other kind of effects that kind of fall into the creative end. And then on the other side of that, I also work on the actual production itself, where I'll tend to direct a lot of these productions. I'll be working with the talent and, kind of directing the show. These projects are all very different, and each one is very unique. And to be honest, there are so many moving parts. It's really rewarding to see it all come together, especially for the work that we're doing for a lot of the Westchester-based nonprofits. Getting to see the end result, which at many times for these virtual fundraisers is actual funds raised, and actually seeing that those numbers go up live is very rewarding.
Our next honoree is Stephanie Giordano, R&D Associate at Regeneron. The youngest member of Regeneron's 5-person rapid response team for infectious diseases, Stephanie made critical contributions in helping the company develop its antibody treatment, which was authorized for emergency use in treating COVID-19. At times working 90-hour weeks, Giordano helped the team screen thousands of antibodies and identify candidates to be used potentially as part of the treatment to fight the virus.
I am a research specialist in the infectious disease department, and the past year we've been working on developing our cocktail of monoclonal antibodies to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Throughout this process, the last year or so, we've been working on confirming that the monoclonal antibodies that we've identified help neutralize the COVID-19 virus are continuously working against all of these new strains. Well, some of the challenges are that it's like unknown, where it's just like an uncharted territory of science where we're constantly learning new things about this virus, and we're constantly having to design reagents and design experiments to confirm that, our antibodies are neutralizing this virus. So every day is sometimes a big question mark, so we just have to come in and tackle those big questions. Being so young and very entry level in my career, and then tackling this major project where I really saw it go from research to clinical drug development has been incredibly challenging, but so rewarding. It's not something everyone gets to do in their lifetime, let alone by the time that they're 25. So it is really exciting and really cool to be a part of it. Focusing on doing things that you love and you care about will always lead you to a fulfilling path, regardless of whatever that looks like. It's different for everyone, right? So I think as long as you're just constantly pushing towards being the best at the thing that you love the most, that's how I found my path.
Our next honoree is Samara Graca, Property Manager, Ginsburg Development Companies. In just 2 years, Graca has risen to become the youngest property manager at the firm. She currently oversees Harbor Square, the 188-unit luxury high-rise building in Ossining, where she manages 17 employees and handles all staff and resident relations at the complex. Graca was also instrumental in GDC's ambitious project at Fort Hill in Peekskill, shepherding it from the construction phase to 3 completed luxury apartment buildings.
Harbor Square consists of 188 apartments. It's a luxury high-rise building. We have 8 stories. The top floor has all of our great amenities. The outdoor swimming pool, the club lounge, the fitness center, the spa are all up on the rooftop, which is really neat. We have a business center. We have a grand lobby when you walk in. So just like GDC's motto, all of our residents come home to vacation. So I started at Harbor Square as a leasing consultant when we first opened in 2016. And I was in that building for about 2 years, leasing it up until I moved on to our new property in Peekskill. I stayed there for another 2 years, and then I came back to Harbor Square as a property manager. My daily responsibilities, they do range from day to day. I spend a lot of time in the office and a lot of time walking the building and the property, making sure that the property is fully functioning, whether it's aesthetically, internally. I have about 18 staff members that I oversee, including concierge, maintenance, leasing staff. Working at a building this size, a lot of challenges arise, but it's nothing I can't handle. So to get where I am today, it's taken a lot of determination and hard work, but I'm excited to keep moving forward within GDC and to get to the next level. I love my current job, my position. I love working for GDC and particularly at Harbor Square. It's, I think, their best building in the whole portfolio.
Our next honoree is Jasmine Graham, Program Manager of Westchester Power for Sustainable Westchester. As Manager of Westchester Power, Graham oversees all aspects of securing clean power for the 28 municipalities that are members of Sustainable Westchester, which administers programs to create economically efficient climate solutions. Graham's responsibilities include complex data reporting, preparation of regulatory compliance documentation, and planning and executing outreach communications. Graham is also working with various Westchester towns and cities as part of an environmental justice program.
As the manager of the Westchester Power program, I am responsible for all things outreach. We have a really robust public education program. I also do the reporting and compliance. We're overseen by the Public Service Commission. We have a lot of reporting requirements, which I take care of. As a part of this role, I've also started to incorporate environmental justice in what I do. We have an environmental justice project that we're starting right now, which is really exciting. But everything that I do at my job keeps me busy, but it's very rewarding. One of the biggest challenges is how do we meet our climate goals? The energy program that I manage serves over 115,000 residents and small businesses in Westchester. Over a third of the county is in the program, and that's a huge impact. But we still have so much more to do. And so I think that one of the biggest challenges that I face is keeping hope alive, which I think is a struggle for a lot of people, but also just making sure that everyone is engaged and has the opportunity to learn about environmental issues, but that's what we're here for, and we're finding solutions to those long-term problems. I've been pivoting towards environmental justice. It's something that I've cared about my whole life. Environmental problems disproportionately burden people of color, low-income communities, formerly incarcerated people, just vulnerable populations. In the work that I've done, it's been amazing to engage so many residents and small businesses across Westchester, but to make sure that those benefits are really being directed to the communities that need them most is going to take a lot of targeted work. So my next steps are really to ensure that a sustainable future will be an equitable one.
Our next honoree is Aaron Hopkins, Administrator, Ambulatory Network Operations and Strategic Planning at Mount Sinai Health System. As the administrator for the Mount Sinai Doctors Yonkers site, Aaron Hopkins oversees 25 staff members and supports 15 providers. Hopkins handles the financial and business operations, plus helps regional leadership with strategic initiatives like ensuring supply sufficiency and PPE. He previously has taken part in Mount Sinai's prestigious Administrative Fellowship Program.
Some of my responsibilities include financial as well as operational oversight for our Mount Sinai Doctors Yonkers Westchester practice. Our practice is composed of 14 physicians and 25 clinical and support staff members. We see on average of 100 to 125 patients per day, and we have all types of specialties here, including primary care, cardiology, neurology, thoracic surgery, as well as different ultrasound and radiology testings as well. A lot of the challenges now are really centered around the pandemic because we do work in healthcare, and this was really unforeseen. Really having to be able to be flexible to change our operations, make sure that we incorporated different services such as telehealth, making sure that our patients do get the best quality care that they deserve to have has been one of our biggest challenges, and just making sure that those who are in the business of caring for people, because I do work in healthcare, that they are actually cared for and provided for in their day-to-day line of service. I would say that's my biggest challenge as an administrator, supporting the different practice sites and then supporting all these different people who are providing care to others. I think my skills and approach is really just being a listener. I like to get in and understand what people's challenges first are, and then try to see how I can have solutions to these challenges, and also bringing in the right people who can assist. Everyone may be good at something, someone else may be better at different areas, so bringing everyone to the table, really just being a great listener, understanding how I can assist, and then it's really just putting everyone in the right different places so that they can be successful. To be honored as a 2021 Wunderkind is a really big achievement for me in my life so far. Both of my parents as well as grandparents were actually raised and lived in the Westchester area. As a kid, I actually remember seeing my grandmother having the 914 Incorporated magazine in her house. So to be honored as a Westchester Wunderkind, even though both of my grandmothers are no longer with me, I know that they will be very proud, and I'm really glad that I could make them proud and could be selected to receive this award. So really grateful for what it means to me as well as to others that came before me.
Our next honoree is Emma Houseman, Program Manager, Corporate Social Investment at Xylem. A devoted environmentalist, Emma manages the Corporate Social Responsibility Program known as Watermark for the Rye Brook-based Xylem, a leading global water technology company. Her responsibilities include managing partnerships with global nonprofit organizations to help provide education and access to safe water. Houseman also manages Xylem's employee and stakeholder management volunteer programs, leading her 16,000 plus colleagues in volunteer events around the globe.
My name's Emma Houseman, and I'm the program manager for Xylem Watermark, which is the corporate social responsibility program of Xylem, a global water technology company. I manage our global nonprofit partnerships with organizations like UNICEF, Mercy Corps, Planet Water Foundation, and help to implement programming all over the world that expands water access and sanitation access, as well as education with young people. I also help to manage our employee and stakeholder engagement programming, so volunteering and giving programs all over the world that get our employees out into the community and making an impact. I really find the work that I do rewarding. Every day I wake up and I'm so excited to go to work. I love working with people all over the world, so our colleagues that represent every different region across the globe, as well as the people that are living and working in the communities that we're supporting through funding, grants, and volunteerism. So some of the challenges we're facing is that the global water challenges are escalating. There's increased water-related disasters like flooding here in the US that we see, as well as all over the world. And these are impacting our colleagues and our partners, as well as just the communities where they live. So we're always working to stay one step ahead and try to address these challenges. It feels so great to be honored as one of the 914 Wunderkinds. As someone who grew up in Westchester, it really means a lot. I have deep roots here and have worked with a lot of community organizations in the town in South Salem and Bedford. Hopefully they see this and see that the work that I have collaborated with them on over the years has really paid off. And I love to work for a company like Xylem where we're continually giving back to our community. So I spoke a lot about the global projects we're working on, but we also do a lot of great work here in Westchester in partnership with some local nonprofits like Westchester Parks Foundation. Great to have partners like that we can get involved in the community with.
Our next honoree is Alina Pedraza, founder and CEO, Fused Fitness. After the pandemic shutdown forced her to close the doors to her 3,600 square foot gym in Jefferson Valley, Alina quickly pivoted to offer online fitness classes and lifestyle and nutrition coaching. Fused Fitness today focuses on in-person small group training sessions out of Iron Health Physical Therapy in Peekskill. Pedraza also has plans with Iron Health Physical Therapy to open a new wellness center in Peekskill in the near future.
Fused Fitness is a personal training and small group personal training program. We were a bigger facility before COVID, and now due to COVID, we have downsized, but we have plans to reopen bigger and better than ever. What we do is we really look at the individual person that we're working with. We make sure that we're coming up with a program and certain movements to meet their needs, and we just started really focusing on nutrition and lifestyle programs as well. So incorporating proper nutrition based on somebody's past with either dieting or past with workouts, and also maybe any issues they're experiencing, autoimmune, stuff like that. So we like to work with the individual person and make sure that we're really helping them reach their goals. As founder and CEO, I am kind of wearing all the hats right now. I'm doing everything from lead gen, marketing, getting clients through the door, and then working with them either in a one-on-one setting or a small group setting. So maybe 4-on-1, coming up with programs for our clients, coming up with nutrition plans for our clients, and also doing things like payments, scheduling, everything. The challenges that I experience as a one-man show right now are just, to be honest, overwhelm, making sure that everyone's taken care of and not letting anything drop and fall through the cracks. So I would say systems are a big challenge for me right now because I have ideas of how I want a system to roll out and how I want things to be more efficient. So that's been a challenge. And then right now in this current landscape, another challenge is making sure that people feel comfortable coming back to a gym and working with a trainer, working in a setting where there's other people around. So I have been working with some clients at home, however, mainly in person, and that's another challenge too, making sure that people feel comfortable coming back in. I think without realizing it, what's gotten me so far is just paying attention to my intuition and my gut and not noticing that that's maybe what it is all the time, but just going by feels. Obviously making educated decisions with those feels, but not writing them off.
Our next honoree is Avi Raffelson, Strategic Finance Manager, Caramount Medical. In 2019, Avi was the first hire under Caramount's newly formed Strategic Finance function. In his position, Raffelson spends his days working with the organization's key stakeholders on critical strategic initiatives, including corporate development, financial planning and analysis, service line performance, and project management. Once the pandemic hit, he added to his responsibilities working closely with senior leaders to reevaluate and restructure the group's strategic plan in light of the many problematic issues arising from the coronavirus.
I work cross-functionally across the organization with our population health team that works on a lot of value-based care initiatives. My biggest responsibilities day-to-day are working across the organization with our senior leadership and across our accounting team, our revenue team, and our population health team that works on a lot of value-based care initiatives. So working with our patients to improve outcomes and drive down the total cost of care. I support strategic planning, so like long-term strategic planning for some of our key strategic initiatives, financial planning analysis, annual budgeting, and things of that nature, integration work, and also corporate development. So how do we grow our business? I think working cross-functionally in an organization can be hard, and reporting to our various senior leaders definitely puts a lot of pressure on me, but I work with an incredibly smart team, and I think whenever I'm stuck, knowing that I can lean on them for their advice and counsel has always really made a difference for me and really helped me grow in my role. I think to be successful in any role, you really have to trust the people that you work with, and you have to treat them really well and know that you can depend on them and they can depend on you, and I think that kind of accountability and trust, it's not built overnight, but as you work with people on important things and you build that, it really is the key driver to success, I found. My key philosophy and what I think about day to day is how do I treat the people I work with really well? How do I gain their trust and respect? And how do I build accountability and trust in the teams that I work with? And I found doing that successfully makes the hard moments a little bit easier and has really helped me grow in my career.
Our next honoree is Carlo Santos, Director of Operations at Santa Fe Food Group. After graduating from college in 2015, Carlos joined his mother as an owner-operator at the Colombian restaurant she founded, and he now handles everything from staffing the restaurant to running marketing campaigns to overseeing the restaurant's charitable food pantry work. In addition to keeping the restaurant running throughout the pandemic, Santos also helped launch the side business, Nadas, selling the kitchen's popular homemade empanadas in New York City grocers like Seatown and Key Food. Since launching, they have sold more than 10,000 empanadas.
I'm the Director of Operations at Santa Fe Food Group, which includes the Kia Santa Fe in Portchester, and then we also do CBG brand, which is Colombian frozen empanadas. They're rainbow colored, and so we distribute those right now in the tri-state area, but we're expanding all over the country. The biggest responsibilities, I think, are both obviously the logistical things, right? Figuring out how the website's going, figuring out how distribution's going, figuring out how our fulfillment's going. But it's really knowing when the right time to scale up is. You're almost like a puppeteer, right? You're trying to move the pieces in the right place. So when it is the right time to scale up, you have everything in place. So I think that's the biggest responsibility, just stewarding it as wisely as possible. I think my personal key to success is doing things out of love. As business owners, as people in the workplace, as people in society, we're sometimes so consumed by our own aspirations. While rather everything, even on all our logos, on our packages, it says we're simply just people who love people, right? That's it. Whether that's through flavorful Colombian empanadas, whether that's through our work with the community, whether that's through the restaurant, I think at the base, if you do things out of a place of love and gratitude for people, that's where you're gonna succeed. It's an honor to be chosen as part of the new class. I just feel really honored to be part of it. I feel very grateful for whoever nominated me. You know, our hard work has shown, and our heart has shown, because, you know, even over pandemic, it's really been about how can we help our community. We've fed 400,000 people since pandemic started. You know, frontline workers to now underserved communities throughout all of New York City, where we do every Friday, we feed 2,000 families. I think that it's the fruits of loving people. I don't think this would ever happen if we weren't so caring for our community, so I'm just really grateful and I'm honored.
Our next honoree is Sahona Silla, Manager, Professional and Support Services at Westchester Medical Center Health Network. Among other responsibilities, Silla has been heavily involved in the Westchester Medical Center Health Network's COVID testing facility on its main campus in Valhalla. She manages the day-to-day operation by scheduling staff, ordering supplies, and coordinating with WMC Health's call center. Silla is also a floor lead for WMC Health's vaccine administration program, which operates out of the Westchester County Center, including the allocation and distribution of the vaccine across providers.
Majority of my current responsibilities are leading COVID operations, from diagnostic testing to antibody testing, pop-up testing, serving the community in a response to COVID as much as possible, as well as now leading COVID vaccinations at the hospital, as well as we have a partnership with New York State and Westchester County, and we're leading the mass vaccination site at the county center right now. Some of the challenges in my current role, I would say, would be the constant change. With everything that we're dealing with throughout this pandemic right now, you have to be able to pivot at any given point. I think my personal key to success is that I strive to be impactful in every way possible. Any of the tasks that I lead, the people who I interact with, whether they're patients, whether they're staff members, I want to be able to know that I made a difference. I want people to remember me, from the small interactions to the large interactions that we've had. So yeah, I want to be impactful. I would say that one of my mentors who helped develop me throughout my career once told me, leaders make new leaders. that really stuck with me because I try to do that with the staff members who I manage. I try to give them more responsibilities, teach them everything that I know. So as I'm growing as a leader, I can be developing them as leaders as well.
Our last honoree is Tyree Woodson-Samuels, County Legislator, District 13 for the Westchester County Legislature. In November, Tyree was elected as a Westchester County Legislator, making him, at age 28, the youngest person ever to represent Mount Vernon. He is a former aide to Congressman Eliot Engel, for whom he worked with residents and public officials on issues including immigration, gun safety, military, veterans affairs, and healthcare. Woodson-Samuels is also a legislative committee member of the Westchester Black Democrats, serves as Caucus of Color Chair for the Westchester Young Democrats, and has leadership roles with the local chapter of the NAACP.
As a legislator on any level of government, your main two responsibilities are to, one, pass legislation that improves the quality of life for your district, and secondly, to have oversight over the budgetary process. Here in Westchester County, that's a $2 billion budget, so a lot of due diligence to do. You know, one part of the budget process I actually found to be the most impactful portion is the miscellaneous budget. In this portion of the budget, we actually can essentially earmark funds for local nonprofit organizations and community-based organizations that, especially now during the pandemic, are on the front lines and serving the people, giving them food, providing shelter and other resources to help them navigate this pandemic. Love the entire city of Mount Vernon and humbled and honored to represent my hometown on this board. I'm the youngest in city history, and so naturally I have some of the old guard forces sort of view me as someone who's inexperienced and, you know, who is this young guy who has the audacity to step up. And we don't really pay attention to the naysayers, to the detractors. We focus on running our playbook and ushering a new generation and a new mindset into the city. You know, I'm a millennial who owns his own business, and so I'm a big advocate of economic empowerment. Well, what we do is we want to show and prove. I think sometimes you don't have to, necessarily critique a dirty glass. All you have to do is just hold up a clean glass next to it and, you'll see the juxtaposition. So what I want to do is modernize government, introduce technology, and just do my job well. I don't do any of this for recognition, but I'm humbled and grateful to receive this recognition. I'm more so happy because it probably will inspire some other young folks to engage and get involved in the process. This is our future, so why wouldn't we have, if not a seat at the table, at least some part of the dialogue coming from our direction.
Congratulations again to all of our Wunderkinds. Thanks again to County Executive George Latimer for joining us, and another thank you to all of our sponsors. And don't forget to visit their virtual booths online. Our bronze sponsor is Regeneron, event sponsor Iona College, gift bag sponsor Caramount Medical. A special thanks to Enormous Creative for producing tonight's videos. A recording of this presentation will be on our website and Facebook page if you'd like to rewatch the awards or share it. Also a reminder that our speed networking will be open until 8 p.m. for anyone that would like to continue networking. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year. Have a great night.